First time I met him was in his room at a lunch that Srila Prabhupada cooked. Now this time Srila Prabhupada was cooking for all of his new devotee disciples. There were the first 12 initiated disciples minus the one. Kirtanananda was not present at this time. But all the rest of them were. My sister Janki was the first female disciple. So Mukunda warned me, when you meet, we call them Swamiji then, when you meet Swamiji, you can say Hare Krishna, fold your hands like this. So I walked into Srila Prabhupada's quarters, and I remember him sitting in a shaft of light underneath a window. And he didn't have a shirt on. He was dishing out prasadam in this corner. So I said, Hare Krishna, Swamiji. And he said, what is your name? I said, Joan. And he said, so you're from your sister's family? When will the other family members come? I said, I'm the only one. No one else is coming. He said, oh. In India, generally there's a big preparation from the bride side of the family. Never mind. We will celebrate. So that day was my first lunch, and that was a very memorable lunch for a number of reasons. I was a macrobiotic aficionado at that time, and Srila Prabhupada's prasadam was all just power-packed with not only taste, but of course, because his hands had touched it, the way that he served the prasad to the devotees was like no meal I'd ever had. There was so much affection that manifested through Srila Prabhupada's distribution. Another side point, each one of the men ate up to 12 chapatis at a sitting. So that means Srila Prabhupada made a minimum of 144 chapatis for base to start, and then went on with whatever else they wanted to eat. So that was the very first time that I met Srila Prabhupada, that lunch. Well, actually in those days, we were so inefficient at everything that we did, and so incapable of knowing the significance of what initiation meant. And I remember that, of course, at our fire yagya for the marriage, we we didn't have enough money to buy butter, so we used margarine. And when Srila Prabhupada tried to start the fire, he picked up a piece of wood and he dipped it in. Beautiful. Prabhupada's hands were magnificent, long fingers like this. He picked it up and held it over the flame, and it went. He did it again. Over the fire, no action. So he looked up very grave and said, oh, this marriage will have a very slow start. I was mortified at that. I thought, uh-oh, what have I gotten into now? But yeah, very significant. I suppose at initiation, I do remember very clearly that Srila Prabhupada first gave me the name Kalindi, which is another name of Yamuna. And very quickly, within 10-12 seconds, he said, no, it is Yamuna Devi. And I said, what does that mean, Swamiji? And he said, the river that Krishna sports in Vrindavan is Yamuna. Morning walks were one of the most relishable aspects of spending time with Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada gave us access to spend time with him all day and into the night. But for me, in that early San Francisco period, I generally was one of the ones that wanted to be on that morning walk. And one of the early devotees and I used to get up at 2 in the morning and go to Golden Gate Park and pick flowers in Rhododendron Dell, make garlands for Srila Prabhupada, and then present them to Srila Prabhupada, go on the morning walk. It was in the park. And they were always very, very special moments for us, to walk next to your spiritual master, to try to chant Hare Krishna as he is chanting Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada was always chanting Hare Krishna. His hand was in his bead bag. If he was sitting in his rocking chair or behind his desk when he wasn't writing, So certainly the morning walks, they were japa walks, and he walked very briskly. Srila Prabhupada walked like a young man of 25. I remember I had wooden yogi shoes between the toes, and the first day I went for a walk with those shoes on, my feet bled because Prabhupada was just snapping right along very fast. Yeah, morning walks were glorious with Srila Prabhupada.